All right, guys, now let's take a deep dive into Bloom Cashmere. When you first open it up, you're going to see this beautiful little interface with the mandala in the center. These four guys are our macros. So this one is lo-fi. This is tube, which sounds really great. Let's just load up a little preset here so I can show you. So you can get a really nice distortion out of that, and you get this nice lo-fi sound. Over here, we've got width, just to make anything that was originally a mono signal wide. Like that. And then you got space, which is reverb and delay. Now, you might have noticed I dragged a sound here. These sounds here are the palette that you are working with. And you can pick any of the 112 sounds. Just drag them into there. And now you will be playing it. You might notice that it transposed. That is because you can select your key over here. And we'll just work in A minor, nice and easy, all the white keys. Going back to our grid, we got vocals, strings, strummed, sitars, flutes, more flutes, percussion, and more percussion. All right, now let's make a little combination. We could drag in some flute, we could drag in some sitar, some other strummed instruments. And you notice every time I click on one, it is giving you a little preview. So we've got a little batch now, and we can flip over to our main page, go to edit. And now you see for each sound that we've got, as we click on it, it becomes selected here in our sampler. And you can select the loop region like this. You can say, do you want it to loop? You click on that in order to loop. You can say whether to hold it down in order to play it or just a one shot. A one shot would be like you click it super short, but it plays the whole thing. And speed can be normal, or it could be double, or it could be half. You can choke it based on other instruments playing. Over here on the grid, when we're selecting our loop region, we can do grid, we can do by transient, which is super cool. So you can just find all the different transients in your loop and make a loop based on that. Or you can just turn it off and you can drag it at your will. If you want to use a grid, of course, you can change the quantization of the grid there. So 1/16, 1/8, 1/4. Over here, you've got your basic ADSR controls. So you've got attack, you've got release. You can also handle pan, you can handle volume, you can handle pitch, and you can handle the formant independently of the pitch, which is super cool. So there you go. You got all kinds of cool controls to warp the sound. And as we get down here into the sequencer, this is going to come up more when you start playing with these guys. A, B, C, D, and E. These are your sequences. So let's pull up a preset and you can see how that works. I'm going to go into, let's see here. Let's do our percussive ones. I really like these guys. This is a percussion kit, nice and basic. So here we got a bunch of one shots. But if we click the sequence, it is using those one shots to create a loop. And you don't have to just use the loop that it gives you. You can edit it, go into full screen, is the way I like to do it. And you can see we've got like a little drum sequencer basically here. And as we click it, you can see it running through that sequencer. The most basic thing you're going to be using is the trigger that just says, okay, here's all our different instruments or different sounds that we've got, and when do we want them to play. So what you're seeing here is all the triggers on the different drums. You can also change the probability. You can change the velocity, so I can drag this guy down or I can drag him up so you get different volume. And you can change the pitch. You can change the attack. You can change the release, timing, so you can make it a little early, a little late. It makes it really fun to, within just the plugin, you have like a little mini DAW that you can create drum beats out of. And then by the time it hits your DAW, we only really need to hit one note. So if it's, let's find that guy. It's going to be probably that. So you drag it out and you'll notice all of these sharp keys, the black keys, starting with this C3 sharp, are going to give you different loops like that. So those are our different sequences, A, B, C, D, and E. And that's the easiest way to edit them, is using the full screen. Now, if you see below the sequencer, we've got noise, dynamics, and reverb. Don't let the noise fool you. You think, oh, it's just gonna slap some noise on your sound. No, it is way cooler than that. So we go down here to the type of sound we want. Let's pick metallic. And then we're gonna expand it and change it, instead of constant, to dynamic. And now it's going to be following the envelope of our sound. So now it's adding little bits of metallic noise onto the drum beat. And if I set the threshold down, you're gonna hear more. So it's not just about statically adding noise, although you can do that also. For like a lo-fi sound, you can add some tape noise, vinyl noise. You can make it dynamically follow the drum beat or whatever else that you're playing, adding cool metallic sound onto it, adding some mechanical sound, some interference. You get some really cool creative stuff going on there. So going out of noise for a second, dynamics, you of course have a compressor here, but you also have transient control, so you can change the attack and the sustain. So you can make it just more about the attack rather than the sustain. And of course we have reverb over here. And the reverb is what you'd expect. You've got your choice of hall, plate, and spring. You can change the mix of it. Right? And if you expand it, you can control the tone of it as well. You can set a little filter here. The nice thing about these effects back here are that you can modulate them. So you've got over here, we can turn on reverb, or we can turn on pitch, we can turn on volume, low cut, high cut. And as we select a sequence, let me find out my guy, probably up here. You can do cool things like control the reverb over time. So if we wanted to, we could do a little sweep at the end here. Something like that. And of course, you could do the same thing with pitch, with volume, with everything else. So that is basically the gist of it. It is a sampler that contains 112 different super high quality sounds recorded all over South Asia. And it gives you all kinds of controls beyond a sampler. Lots of effects and sequencing abilities to make endless possibilities. And I'll show you what some of those possibilities look like with the presets that we've created. This is a cool example because we're using some of the strokes, some of the guitars, but we're creating really nice ambient sounds here. And here's some flutes. Something like this would make a really cool background, like a pad to a trap beat or anything else, just creating a nice environment around the beat that you're making. If we go to our other effects, cool flute transitions. This swarm pad is really aggressive. So even though these are Indian and South Asian sounds, their application really goes beyond that, and you can create cool cinematic world building kind of stuff. Going over into melodic. These use the different strings, guitars. This one I like a lot. And we can slow it down a little bit. You can really hear it shine. And what I love to do with these presets is just go to the sequences right away and see what the person making the preset, was me or somebody from my team, was kind of envisioning how to use the preset. And then you can go to full screen here and edit what they made and see what's going on in it. And if there's something that you want to change, you can totally do that. Like maybe just instead of one of these guys over here, we put another one there, another one there. Right? You can do anything that you want. You can hear sort of like a mini song starter idea, and then you can go and edit it and make it your own, which is super cool. If we go into the KSHMR section, you're gonna hear these are more like song starter ideas that have drums mixed with melodics. I love doing this, going into these song starter ones and soloing an instrument. And maybe I really like that and I'm like, okay, that's super dope. So I'll just pick that one out or go over here and check this out. Okay, maybe I like that. And from a song starter, I can pick apart just the things that I really like. This guy in particular is super cool to me. A little haunting kind of flute sound, pitch down. Right, so if I like that one, I'll just find it here. And then I can find that on my keyboard. See, that alone is already super cool to me. And then we'll maybe make another instance of Bloom marching. Sounds cool over this. Let's see what the different presets offer. Already sounds pretty cool. Which is pretty insane considering when you look at your DAW, you literally just have 2 notes of MIDI going on, and there's so much behind the scenes that's at play that's making a really complex sound. All you have to look at in your DAW is these 2 lines, and if you want to edit, you can go in here and that entire drum beat that we just played, you're more than capable of editing and turning into a different rhythm, so let's check it out. Alright, so let's see what we got here. So we could take that guy out and already sounds kind of freaking cool. That's how easy it is to quickly come up with something that sounds really awesome and complex, and you can still edit it, but it's happening behind the scenes. And for your project and your DAW, it's really simple looking.